case you're new to all these videos over these past few years, I'm Robert. I am the general manager of the Aquarium Co-Op. So I run this lovely shop here on duty for what Corey used to do. So, you know, he could sit home and play on the computer and come up with his awesome ideas of new filtration and fertilizers. Playing WoW. So when I first came in, I was told like, hey, I need someone who could kind of run the shop. And you know, he knew me over the years as a customer. And he's like, you know, you've done years of doing fast food, so if you could do that, I think you could do this. Plus, I was like the #1 customer too. So he's like,
#1.
I was the #1. I think I'm still like #2, maybe now #3. But I mean, the amount of money.
That's like how much you spent.
Yeah. And I was here like weekly, and I'm not gonna say how much I spent, but let's just say you could buy a car with it, a new car. I spent quite a bit when I used to come in. So anyway, he wanted someone who could kind of handle the shop, and you know, who knew fish, loved fish, and was just everything about the hobby. So I was the guy. So I came in and I ran the shop. Actually, I used to do even some of the shipping in the very first few weeks when I started here, which we used to do actually in the shop where the tills are. I still kind of get a chuckle out of it. Think about like, oh man, we got a lot of shipping to do, and it's 7 packages for the day. And as we grew more and more, it became actually kind of almost too much to do, just run like the whole shipping monster, as I call it, and let the retail what we turned this into as well. So now we got a wonderful guy running it up there, Mitch, who handles the shipping. So I could just then focus now purely on the shop. Today is the life of the manager of the Aquarium Co-Op. This is also like my office. So if I'm good, I like to try to be here 30 minutes before my employees. Doors, we don't have anybody accidentally fall in, walk in. Sometimes that happens. Here's my office. Unless you don't look at it. Okay. I feel like a janitor, so many keys. Alright. Sometimes there's like be doing a package, help a customer go back and do a package, and you'd be like, oh man, the mailman's coming here at like 10:30 or 12 o'clock. They used to stack them there, and the mail person would come at random times of the day. And then, eventually we hired, an online person to help, and we kind of grew from there, and shipping moved from here into what we call the dungeon, which is our storage. People wonder why it's called the dungeon. You're going to quickly find out.
Yeah, I'll back up a little bit. So it's underneath this stairwell here.
We have like industrial ladder. We have case, major leakage goes on. Carpet cleaner here. So it's constantly evolving. Got aquarium stands, things like that. So we are bursting actually in the seams. I mean, we are growing so much where this little dungeon is barely holding what I need. I actually still like to feed the shop if I can. So I think everyone here likes feeding. So it's kind of it's a bit of a fight to kind of see who wants to feed out. It's a fun.
And usually now it's brine shrimp.
Brine shrimp, I get such a joy out of feeding brine shrimp. It's like kind of for me, it's relaxing. I just love just squirting all a bunch of those little sea monkeys in that tank and seeing all the fish just eat them up.
So it's not only great for the fish; it's good for your stress.
It's good for me, stress level. Yeah. So if I could do it for at least once a day, we do it morning and evening. I'm a happy manager. Like I work alongside the crew. Like I've done all the duties they've done. So it's scrubbing the toilet, scrubbing the tank, everything here that they do, I've done before, and I still do it. So I still come in and help with sales. So some managers will hide into their little office, or sometimes that might just be their job detail, but I'm actually down here on the ground in the trenches, especially on the weekend. You're going to see me in here. Not so much on the weekdays, but on the weekends, I'm in here making almost as much sales as the crew.
Yeah.
Though I try to make sure that they're.
Well,
if they can, I want them to beat me. It's not good if I'm always winning it, but sometimes it is. That's just, what I've had years of sales. So. And we'll turn on all the lights. Hey, Murphy. So. Kind of walk through what things we're looking for when we're kind of doing essentially a death walk. Not just are we looking for a dead fish, we're also looking for a sick fish that might be doing like it's called like the twirls, usually like their liver functions kind of stop and they kind of do like a little twirl down. So if we see any of those diseases, then we're going to go ahead and medicate them. Certainly if it's like ichor velvet, we simply just turn off the light and we'll medicate it. But usually we'll do like a little bit quick servicing on that tank too. We do the death walk. We quarantine fish, and quarantine fish, not is it just we medicate them, we have them sit back for a few days, to a week, and depending on from the vendors and where they're coming from and what kind of species, but they sit back there and we make sure that they're great before they even come on the floor. If they don't look great, they stay back there and continue medicating them. Very hard as an animal guy to say my top 5. That's like saying what's my favorite kid? Bolivian rams. Love them. I got some breeding pairs right now in the 75. They look amazing, and I just found like, gosh, this fish it's cool. It doesn't get too big. It looks beautiful. It's peaceful, and they look amazing in a planted tank. So Oblivion Ram's like my #1 fish. Dwarf petricola catfish. That was one of my favorite fish when I came in here as a customer, and still one of my favorite fish. Look at this thing. It looks like a shark. Everyone wants a shark. It's polka dotted. They get a decent size. They're constantly trolling around. Past 2 months, 3 months, I think I haven't bought like a one off a wholesale. It's been all just locally bred.
Sweet.
#3, well, I've always been a bit of an oddball lover. I think as long as I'm running it here, there's going to be a tank with Senegal Bashirs. If you're going to have like the gateway fish to the weird big monster fish, I'm a monster fish guy deep down. Senegals, they're great. I mean, I think
Dinosaur fish.
the dinosaur fish. They're available everywhere, so everyone can kind of get a little piece of that cake. #4, I'm gonna go with the bottom guy. I like the stirby corridors. I love the bright orange fins. I mean, they're a little pricey, but I think they look great. I don't think you're gonna hate it. You're gonna love it. And then that's at #5. I like bettas. It's not just betta splendens, but the whole family's pretty amazing. I have a thing for the crown tails, like a double crown tail. So if in case you're curious, like that would be like a crown tail. Double crown tail essentially puts like almost like an extra layer of fin structure in there. And I think if there's a clean looking crown tail, Robbie's gonna be putting a staff pick on it. Murphy, this big goofball. He's like a water dog, is what I would call him.
He's been your co-worker since forever.
Yeah, I remember when he was like a little thing and he was in like one of these tanks. I remember like there was 3 of them. I get a chuckle out of him because he has temper tantrums. Like sometimes he wants to get fed and you don't feed him and he'll like smack the side of the tank and slosh the gravel around. It's loud. Every time he does it, we kind of have to stop what we're doing and we kind of like, what's going on over there? Like, oh, he's mad. He's mad about something. I think right now he's getting clever about frozen clams.
Recently, we've noticed that he's having a bit of a tough time cracking his clams, and he's been throwing some temper tantrums, which is what all this in the tank is. He kicked it up because he's getting frustrated that we're only feeding him these bigger clams. He's probably just gonna sit here until it pops open right there at the seam.
Love your support. I do read through the comments, so I do enjoy reading them. Even if you're not buying anything, if you're just stopping by and you're like, hey, I'm from Wisconsin, hey, I'm from Virginia, whatever, maybe we'll put like a big poster in the back with like pins and you can mark where you come from. I want to do that, so because I do love to see where all our fans come from. I think the record right now might be Australia. Let's see if we can beat that. Maybe the North Pole.
All right, thanks, Robert. Game faces, Robert. Game faces.
What's up, YouTube? Hit that smash like.
Get it all out right now, Robert.
All
All
right.
right, my first question is, what's the worst thing you've ever done?
Worst thing I've ever done?
I'm just kidding.
Oh. So we always want the shop to look great. If I get heads up that Corey's coming, we're full salute. I always think of kind of like the Return of the Jedi, like with all the stormtroopers like lined up. He's coming. Let's make sure everything's great.